And now if you'll just connect that here...
It's done. I believe we are ready.
Ach du Scheiße. Der Lieutenant wischt sich den Schweiß von der Stirn.
We're ready to try at least. Please put on these headphones. There should be 2 extra sets. I've configured the channels so that only your microphone is set to broadcast, officer. We'll all be able to listen, but anyone we reach will only hear your voice. You will need to transmit your connection request while I attempt to locate the warship's public frequency. You will likely encounter some interference, but it's important to keep transmitting your request until you're acknowledged. Ready?
Augenblick, was ist, wenn ich niemals eine Bestätigung erhalte?
Then it will be exactly like every other moment of every other day. I ask again, are you ready?
Ja.
Good. Beginning transmission. Go ahead, officer.
Koalitionskriegsschiff Archer. Hier spricht Lieutenant Terrier Dubois von der BMR. Bitte kommen.
You're all alone out there, wandering a blasted heath, calling out to the night. But there is no reply, except for the buzzing of invisible machines. The lieutenant looks up at you with a nervous glance.
Hehe, bin auch nervös.
Nervous for who, though? You cannot say.
Try again, officer.
Koalitionskriegsschiff Archer. Hier spricht Lieutenant Dubois. Bitte kommen.
Perhaps you're simply imagining it, but it seems as though you're learning to pull apart the fibers of this auditory felt. You focus on one strand in particular, one that sounds very nearly human.
Nein, Liebling, das lasse ich nicht zu. Wie kannst du unseren Jungen bloß auf einen dieser Dinger nach Brede fortschicken?
Okay, auf Deutsch. Hallo, Archer, hören Sie mich?
Marianne, mir erzählt, dass Oscar nicht mehr seit er auf einem Luftschiff aus Graz zurückgekommen ist. Halten ihn die Psychologen für vollkommen normal. Aber sie hat das Gefühl, seit seiner Rückkehr mit einem Fremden zusammenzuleben.
Unheimlich?
You can't make out a word of this gibberish.
Toll. Woran erinnert mich das?
The rustling of dry autumn leaves, waves breaking at a distance, 1,000 wings beating at once. It's just like that woman in the electronic doorbell, the circuit ghost.
Eine Aufnahme.
It's strangely comforting to think of these voices traveling through the air until you capture them, firefly-like, with your little metal antenna.
Suna, ich glaube, da sind Geister im Funkgerät.
Liebling, bitte. Er ist unser einziges Kind. Er kann doch auch nächstes Jahr zur Akademie gehen.
Not ghosts, officer. Crosstalk. You have to keep trying until we get a signal through.
Koalitionskriegsschiff Archer. Hier spricht Lieutenant Dubois. Bitte kommen, wenn Sie da sind, Archer.
Again?
Koalitionskriegsschiff Archer. Hier spricht Lieutenant Dubois. Hören Sie mich?
It's gone now.
Was reden Sie da, Kim? Die Temperatur ist doch vollkommen in Ordnung.
I didn't say anything, Detective.
Hä?
Someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
What the fuck geht ab?
An uncomfortable silence falls over the connection.
It's been a long winter. Long and cold.
Wollen Sie mir erzählen, dass Sie das auch nicht gesagt haben?
I promise you I didn't, even though it certainly sounds like me.
Der Klang seiner eigenen Stimme scheint dem Lieutenant unangenehm zu sein. Was geht hier vor sich?
I can't say with certainty, but it sounds very much like anthroponetic crosstalk. It happens sometimes when sending transmissions across long stretches of pale.
Wir wissen immer noch nicht, was das Grau ist.
Ah, yes, of course. That must be it.
Outwardly, they both exude calm, but there's something disturbing about this thought to both of them. Pale? Pale.
Ja, ich weiß.
Pale. Seems to be missing from your records.
Ich bin zu dumm dafür. Das ist echt ärgerlich.
Natürlich halten ihn die Psychologen für vollkommen normal.
Okay, was können wir dagegen machen?
What else is there to do? Keep trying.
Kollisionskriegsschiff Archer, hören Sie mich. Hier spricht Lieutenant Dubois.
But someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
Ja.
Dubois, please acknowledge.
Archer, hier spricht Lieutenant Dubois. Können Sie mich hören?
Liebling, bitte. Er ist unser einziges Kind.
Komm schon.
Warship Archer, please identify.
Aha.
The signals are getting increasingly mixed. Plucking Archer's signal from this
Ach,
will be
komm
like
schon.
isolating a single strand from a tangle of hair.
Aber Mechanik ist doch eigentlich bei mir ganz gut.
It's not working. The crosstalk is simply too strong.
Shit. Was können wir da machen?
I did not expect simply locating the signal to be so difficult.
Sie scheint hochkonzentriert zu sein.
We must consider several variables. Local anthroponetic conditions, the sophistication of our transceiver, the quality of our connections, and the physics of our antenna itself. Fortunately, we have a more than adequate transceiver, so I do not believe it is causing any problems. And we are also unlikely to change our local anthroponetic conditions. So, the next step is to thoroughly inspect our connections.
Wie soll ich denn die Verbindungen prüfen?
You need to climb up there and look at them for yourself.
Ja, klar. Sie starrt dich an, als ob das offensichtlich wäre, und zeigt auf die bunten Kabel, die von den Vorderhufen des Pferdes herabhängen.
Someone has been maintaining it.
Something about this setup seems dimly familiar, but you'll be damned if you know
Was ist
what
denn
you're
hier
supposed
los?
to do about it.
Krieg ja gar nichts hin.
Images of your body smashed against the pavement flood your mind. This is dangerous.
Aber was, wenn ich abrutsche und herunterfalle?
Then you might break your neck.
Erwidert sie trocken. Alles klar. Ziehen wir es durch. Oh mein Gott. Komm schon. Ich habe einen guten Körperapparat. Eigentlich. Deshalb wundert mich, dass diese Probe verkackt wurde. Aber ich habe schon gehört, dass das wohl sehr schwer ist, das zu schaffen. Oh Gott, bitte fall nicht.
Your gloves give you a solid grip on the metal bar.
Aha,
This feels pleasingly familiar.
die Handschuhe sind gut.
You don't exactly cut a lithesome figure, but after several moments of scrambling, you manage to hoist yourself atop the monument.
Ist ja komplett krank. Das ist ja komplett krank, was hier gerade passiert. Oh wei, oh wei.
That performance was frankly an embarrassment.
Ernsthaft? Ich prüfe die Verbindungen.
The connection itself is nothing more than a little braid of exposed wire wrapped about the hoof of the horse. A copper fetter, it cannot slip. The whole monument is covered in a thin but durable layer of oil and grime. It's obvious no one has cleaned it in years.
Ich reinige die Verbindungen mit dem Ammoniak.
Almost immediately, the ammonia begins breaking down the oils around the copper wiring.
Glad that stuff came in handy after all.
Huh? Very good, officer.
Once the oils have been dissolved, you wipe off the connections with your sleeve and reattach the cable.
Hat das geholfen?
It seems to have made some difference, but unfortunately not enough to alter the overall situation. Unser einziges Kind. Er kann doch auch nächstes Jahr zur Akademie gehen. Short of changing the shape of the antenna, I'm not sure what else we can do from here. And the lorries are all jammed together, so that's unlikely to happen.
Was würde es bringen, die Form der Antenne zu verändern?
Ideally, narrow the receiving mode so that we can isolate the warship signal and eliminate the crosstalk. And if you you don't know what you're doing, of course you could just make it worse.
Wie verändern wir die Form der Antenne?
What do you mean? You adjust the antenna manually, with your hand.
Klar.
I'm afraid we're out of alternatives. You're just going to have to go for it.
She's right. The responsibility is yours.
Göttlich.
And yours alone. There's no turning back now.
Komm schon. Warum ist das so hoch? Wir haben keine Punkte. Ah, und ich kann jetzt auch in dem Moment natürlich nicht auf mein Inventar zugreifen. Und Drogen nehmen. Das ist klar. Shit. Ich sehe mir Philipp den Dritten an.
You are face to face with Philip III. The Bronze King looks toward the west. Something about his features seems bizarrely distorted. His imperious gaze leads you naturally to his outstretched hand, which, for some reason, strikes you as sadly empty.
Okay, ich befestige den Säbel.
To your surprise, the saber's hilt fits quite snugly in the statue's hand. The king cuts quite the triumphal figure now.
Ich kann gerade leider nichts sehen. Aus irgendeinem Grund hängen wir hier unten fest.
There is no way that is going to make any difference.
Ist egal, okay.
It's making a very slight difference.
Oh,
The signal is a bit clearer than it was.
Säbel ist tatsächlich eine Hilfe. Ich sehe mir das Pferd an.
This faithful steed is in nearly as poor a condition as its rider.
Ich sehe nach oben.
The sky is grey and overcast. Snow spirals all around you. Through the scrim, you can just make out the shadow of Coalition warship Archer a few kilometers to the east.
Ich sehe nach unten.
A few of the idle lorry drivers and strikebreakers gesture at you with their cigarettes, more out of curiosity than anything else. From the window of one of the adjacent apartment buildings, an older woman leans out, her heavy breasts sagging. She yells a single word you can't make out, and then shuts the window with a violent thunk.
Ja, Leute, ich weiß nicht, ob wir es hinkriegen. Ich versuch's einmal. Nee, haben wir nicht geschafft. Fuck. Oh Gott. Nein. Das war nicht so gut.
You allow the broken hunk of metal to clatter to the ground. It wasn't clear to you it did anything anyway.
Shit.
Nein, Liebling! What are you doing? The connection is even worse now. This is extremely unprofessional.
Es ist nicht meine Schuld, dass die Statue kaputt gegangen ist.
But it is, because you broke it.
She's right. This was your responsibility.
Schön.
Damn it. I'm going to push the power supply. I doubt it will last more than a few minutes, so you'd better make them count.
A maelstrom of sound, swirling and swirling around an invisible point. It's mounting, mounting.
Nicht mehr derselbe ist, seit er auf einem Luftschiff aus Graz zurückgekommen ist.
Lieutenant Dubois, please respond.
It's too much. Your eardrums are throbbing, about to burst.
Proben sind echt scheiße schwer.
A long winter, long and cold.
And then, nothing.
Try it now.
Koalitionskriegsschiff Archer, hier spricht Lieutenant Terrier Dubois von der BMR, kommen.
This is Warship Archer. We are acknowledging and accepting you. Though we're still getting quite a bit of interference.
This is the best we can do. I suggest you get to your business quickly. I doubt I'll be able to maintain even this connection very long.
Okay. Was ist nochmal genau der Auftrag? Ein Komitee.
This is it. You're finally getting to speak with those who hold real power. There is so much you wish you could ask, but you probably only have time for 1 or 2 questions before the signal is lost.
Okay.
Please be advised that you are speaking on a public frequency. What is your request?
Okay. Ich werde einfach weitermachen. Hören Sie, ich muss wirklich dringend das Verantwortungskomitee sprechen.
Acknowledged. To reach the committee, all you need to do is fill out the appropriate request form and submit it to the liaison for public affairs.
Toll.
If the liaison accepts your request, you will be invited to address the committee at their next quarterly public hearing. We believe the next hearing is scheduled for July.
Diese Antwort scheint Sie sehr zufriedenzustellen.
She's got to be jerking your chain, right? You can't wait that long.
Ja, wir versuchen's.
This isn't about you. Not really. It may have been at a certain point, but you've let go of that perspective. This is about your responsibility to all of Revachon. Now, take a deep breath. Look upward. You don't have to bear the burden alone.
Hören Sie, die Lage in Martinez gleicht einem Pulverfass. Wenn die Koalition nicht interveniert, werden viele Menschen sterben.
What? How do you know this?
Bei meinen Ermittlungen bin ich auf Dinge gestoßen, die mich zu dem Schluss bringen, dass wir auf eine gewaltsame Konfrontation zwischen der Gewerkschaft und den Wild Pines zusteuern.
Lieutenant Dubois, this is a very serious claim. Please describe the situation as succinctly as possible.
Ich weiß nicht, ob wir die Zeit haben.
We will forward your summary to the committee.
There's papers rustling in the background. She's clearing her desk, preparing to take notes. There, you've wedged your foot in the door. Now, if you can show the coalition how much they're needed, they'll have no choice but to intervene.
Wild Pines hat vor kurzem die Kontrolle über eine paramilitärische Todesschwadron namens Krennel verloren.
Please continue. We're listening.
Du kannst hören, dass sie hektisch Notizen macht. Ist das mit dem Fischerdorf? Ist das wichtig? Ich habe auch Hinweise darauf entdeckt, dass die Gewerkschaft die Übernahme eines örtlichen Fischerdorfs plant.
We have it. Is there anything else the committee should know?
Du hörst, wie ihr Stift über das Papier kratzt.
Detective, before you answer that, I urge you to weigh your words extremely carefully.
Nein, das waren die mir vorliegenden Fakten.
Acknowledged. Please stand by while we transmit our summary to the committee.
A long winter.
I'm not sure how much longer I can keep the signal clear, officer.
Sie müssen es schaffen, Suna, nur noch ein bisschen länger.
Lieutenant Dubois, this is Collision Worship Archer. Please acknowledge.
No, you know this tone of voice. You've heard it before. She's about to deliver some bad news.
Wieso habe ich das Gefühl, dass sie mir gleich etwas sagen, was ich nicht hören will?
We're sorry, Lieutenant Dubois.
Ja,
The committee has declined your request for an emergency address.
schade.
Specifically, they said that disputes of purely local concern do not fall under their purview.
Tja.
They added that they expect the RCM to fulfill its responsibilities to a high degree of satisfaction.
Und das war's dann?
That's correct. But we must say that it has been interesting to speak with you. If nothing else, the RCM is frequently a source of curiosity to those of us aboard the outer. Now, the first signaler has informed us that we must update the receiving frequency. This connection will be cleared in 4, 3,
Moment, gibt es denn keine andere Möglichkeit?
2, 1. Après le monde, le gris.
And the line goes quiet. The lieutenant gives a long sigh as he removes his headphones. He looks up at you.
I think it's best for you to climb off the statue now, detective. Your real work is done here.
Einen Moment noch, okay?
There's a damp cold running up the insides of your thighs. Your legs have grown stiff. You've been up here quite a while. You look around. The strikebreakers are still shouting their slogans and waving their hand-painted signs. Beneath you, the lieutenant and the programmer have begun disconnecting a few cables. You could stay a while longer if you wanted.
Nein, ich glaube, ich kletter herunter.
Good. Now give me a hand with these amplifiers. Leave the cables. I don't feel like making 2 trips.
What's one more trip across the waterlock?
Also wir haben den Auftrag abgeschlossen. Ich weiß nicht, ob man den Eilantrag durchbringen könnte, eventuell.
Well, this was an interesting collaboration.
Ich denke, es hätte auch noch schlechter ausgehen können. Wir geben ein ziemlich gutes Team ab, Suna.
Perhaps. You're more reliable than the writers I used to work with. Though, that is not a difficult part to clear. In any event, just leave that equipment here. I'll put it away later. If you'd like, you can take one of the extra headsets. I don't need so many spares. Now, you'll excuse me. I have to get back to my own work.
Okay. Ja, wir haben Gedanken abgeschlossen.